In what has come as shocking news, especially to the Congress, Ghulam Nabi Azad has quit the party after 49 years of being a loyalist. In fact, he was called the lucky mascot of the Congress and he had joined it in 1973. But while leaving, he has written a damning letter to Sonia Gandhi describing the problems within the party and what ails the party, and a lot of those kind of allegations that you might say or complaints are actually directed towards Rahul Gandhi, whom he calls very non-serious, as a person who's never in one place. He's been roaming around, even taking meetings from abroad of the party, which is extremely unprecedented. And the fact that he's written that he has actually brought the party to a point of no return since he became the vice president in 2013, and that he demolished the party bit by bit in the sense of the consensus taking culture, the culture of taking advice from senior people, because all the senior peoples have either been humiliated or they've been sidelined. And not only has Ghulam Nabi Azad left the party, with him left about another batch of 8 people the same day from the Jammu and Kashmir unit, and the very next day another 51 people from the Jammu and Kashmir unit of the party, which means that virtually the Jammu and Kashmir Pradesh Congress is now just a hum. More than that, what Ghulam Nabi has while going highlighted is the dismal state of the Congress, and he's not the first person who's either quit the party or who has pointed to the failures of the party. I've got a huge list of very prominent people who've left the party only in 2022. Forget about even before. For example, Kapil Sibal, a person who's perhaps one of the most seasoned, well-known lawyers of the country, who's taken up extremely important cases of the country. He's been a union minister in 2 of the UPA governments, and he quit the party, which was again a big shock, like Azad himself. And besides that, Jaiveer Shergill, he left this month, who was a very iconic youth figure. He said this, the party is totally out of sync with the youth of the country. Then there's Sunil Jakhar, who was extremely disappointed that Channi was made the Chief Minister of Punjab, and when he criticized Charanjit Singh Channi, he was actually given a show cause notice, and after that he left in a huff as well. And then there are other people like RPN Singh, who's a very prominent name from UP, and he was supposed to be actually helping Priyanka Gandhi in UP, but just when the UP elections were starting, he moved to the BJP. Ashwini Kumar, who was a law minister, and he quoted while going that he wrote in the letter saying that I've concluded that in the present circumstances and consistent with my dignity, I can best subserve larger national causes outside the party fold, which means he again pointed to the point of dignity and the way senior people were being treated within the party. Hardik Patel, a very prominent Patidar leader, who was the hope of Congress in Gujarat, but he poked fun at Rahul Gandhi, saying that the party leaders of the Congress in Gujarat, all they're concerned with is when Rahul Gandhi comes in arranging chicken sandwiches for him as well as Diet Coke, rather than any strategic inputs or any strategic discussions about how the party can grow in the state. It was also a pointed allegation, considering that Gujarat is predominantly vegetarian, and that would have hurt Rahul Gandhi's image. Another really, really big name is Himanta Biswa Sarma, who's not just a chief minister but also looking after the affairs, convener for the affairs of Northeast for BJP now. And he has actually put BJP on the Northeast map, state after state, to a point that Northeast has actually been saffronized to the degree that there's BJP more or less in government in every state. And he said that when he was just about to quit the party, as a last hope, he had gone to meet Rahul Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi didn't give him a fair hearing and kept playing with his pet dog, which actually disappointed him to a degree that he also left in a huff. Besides that, from the northeast, two very other prominent people, Biren Singh of Manipur and Pema Khandu of Arunachal Pradesh. They too left from the northeast and have been actually big dents for the Congress. And Rita Bahugana Joshi from Uttar Pradesh, a person who belongs to a family who's been affiliated with the Congress for years, in fact for generations, rather one would say. And then there are so many others like Jiten Prasad, like Jyotiraditya Scindia, like Kuldeep Bishnoi, all people who are heavyweights and are no longer with the Congress. And this pain was also communicated to the Congress interim president Sonia Gandhi in a letter written by 23 people, G23 as they're called, and this letter was also leaked to the media where they made all these allegations and said what is wrong with the party and why is it in such a dismal state. This was written about 2 years back in August 2020. But not much has happened since then, except the fact that now organizational elections, which was one of the allegations that there's no democracy within the party and that the party is very weak in the grassroots level. So now at least the organizational elections have been announced, which will take place on October 17, but we don't know who will be the president. Rahul Gandhi, we don't know whether he's interested or disinterested in being the president. He's also not interested in having Sonia Gandhi become the president because she's been ailing for a long time. Priyanka Gandhi is another name, but she was a big flop as far as her organizational skills were seen in Uttar Pradesh. And there are 2 or 3 other prominent names like that of Gehlot as well as of Shashi Tharoor. But who will finally take the reins of the party and who will take up the mantle and actually reinvent or do anything to rejuvenate the Congress, we will see after the elections in October, on October 17, and when the results are out 2 days after that.